Good evening, people. Welcome to it's not so much what I've watched this week. It's more of a what I've watched recently-ish, because I was going to do this last week, but I don't feel like I watched enough good stuff to make a video, so I might just do these as and when. And I feel like there's a decent enough stuff to talk about here. So the first one is going to be a film from 1949 called Kind Hearts and Coronets. That's all about family murder and that kind of thing, like a dark comedy maybe. I watched it because Alec Guinness has 8 roles. They're all in the same family, and they all get murdered. And I was curious to see how different they would all be. So I went into this film curious about the 8 roles. I come out of the film enjoying the whole lot of it. I thought it was a fun film. It was an interesting film, and yeah, went in for one thing, came out with another. But I give that one a 7. 1949. Yeah, really fun. As is this one, 1993's Tombstone. This has a bunch of people: Kurt Russell, Sam Elliott, Val Kilmer. I always forget his name. Bill Paxton. This is what I would call a stylish western. 1993. Full of famous faces, great looking sets, and it's just a stylish, modern, if you can call. Do you call 1990s modern, or do you call 1990s retro? I don't know, but just a real cool, stylish film that I had a blast with. Hadn't seen it for years, and I give it a 9. Then a film with Rutger Hauer called Wanted, Dead or Alive. I think I'd seen this before. But he's like a ex-CIA man who's now a bounty hunter, and he's tasked with bringing in this terrorist. I think I'd seen it before, but I'm not sure. I don't remember anything of it, but I like Rutger Hauer. He's fun to watch, and this was a fun action-y sort of film from 1987. Hell, I watch anything from the 80s, but yeah, that was fun. We all enjoyed that. I watched that with the family. We all enjoyed it. Then a film the family would never watch, but I've seen it many times. It's a short film, which is why I could squeeze it in whenever it was that I squeezed it in. 1948, Rope. A fantastic film. Farley Granger, Jimmy Stewart, these two there. They open the film, they're murdering someone, they stick him in it like a trunk. Throw a party, put that trunk in the middle of the room as a centerpiece. Jimmy comes in and kind of susses out what's going on. All set in one place. Nighttime and daytime passes outside. It's made to look like there's no cuts in it. Now, we know there's cuts in it so we can see them, but I'm not sure if a regular person would notice where the cuts are. For me, it's obvious, but I don't know if someone like my parents would notice it. I don't know, but anyway, Rope gets a 9. 1948, it always gets a 9. Then Furiosa, the latest Mad Max film. And the best thing I can say about this, I feel exactly the same way about this as I did Mad Max Fury Road. There looked like more CGI in this. We see the Citadel, Immortan Joe, Chris Hemsworth as he Dementus. I didn't care for that one bit. And just like Fury Road, there's so much going on. It's so much thrown at your eyeballs that you can't take it all in. I give it a 6. Yeah, so not for me. Mad Max 1, 2 and 3 is all I ever need. Then a film from 1975 called The Count of Monte Cristo. This guy gets thrown in prison for nothing. He's in there for 10-15 years, meets another guy in there, gets told there's treasure somewhere, escapes, finds a treasure, and uses the money to get revenge on people who put him in prison. It was a swashbuckler, so the information tab said. There wasn't much buckling of the swashes in this film. I think swashbuckling, swords, swinging on ropes, ships, cannons, but there wasn't any of that. But I give it a 7 because I did like it. It's just not swashbuckling as I was hoping. Then a film that's been in maybe the last anti-haul video I did, and many anti-haul piles over the years. It was Baby Driver. I thought, you know what, you're going to get rid of it, and you haven't seen it since it came out. So I watched it and I loved it. I give it a 7. Jamie Foxx, Kevin Spacey, I don't know this guy, Angel Elgort, I don't know who the hell he is, Lily James, and this was a lot of fun. I loved the soundtrack. I think I liked every song that they played. I liked the idea that he had all these different iPods for different days, the kind of iPod I used to have. So yeah, I'll be keeping that in the end. I enjoyed that one. That was a lot of fun. As was this one that I talked about in my Arnold film video, The Running Man. We talk about that. That gets a 9. Hadn't seen this one for years, and I had a rare 2.5 hours to myself when I watched The Dark Knight. My letterbox says it's been 11 years since I watched this. That is a lie. It can't be that long. But it's been a while since I watched it. You're talking at least 3 years. And I watched it and I loved it. Maybe when it was finished, I didn't think that was as epic as I usually do. But some of that music kicked in and it just took me back to when it came out. And yeah, because I watched A Knight's Tale a few weeks ago. That has Heath Ledger in it. You watch Heath Ledger in that, you watch him in this. I don't recognise him. It's phenomenal. Love it. Love The Dark Knight. Give it a 9. Then 1953's War of the Worlds. One of the few books that has been turned into a film that I've read the book of. I love the book. It's a phenomenal book. And there's no tripods in this. They're like hovering. You can see them on the poster. They're like hovering craft with eyes. And when their force fields are up, it's like someone's put a jar over them, like that cake sitting. But I've seen it before many years ago, but I thought it was great. My favourite Waterworld film, and I give it a 7. 1953. I like it. I also like The Perfect Storm from 2000. Bunch of fishermen. Mark Wahlberg, George Clooney, William Fichtner, John C. Reilly. They're fishermen. They go out to catch some fish, and there's a storm, a superstorm with 100-foot waves. And this was a fun watch. I give it a 6. It was a good 6. Only thing I would knock about it is some of the CGI and the waves. Looks like an old PlayStation 1 cutscene. Doesn't quite cut the mustard anymore. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, if you call watching people suffer fun. Then a film from 1938 called Little Tough Guys. And this has a bunch of kids in it that, I'm not sure in the order, but I think they started out as the Dead End Kids. Then the Little Tough Guys, and they morphed into the Bowery Boys. I don't know who left and who came in, but made a lot of these types of films. I've seen the film Dead End, Humphrey Bogart. I like that. Little Tough Guys, this guy gets sent to prison for a murder he didn't do. Family have to move to a rough neighbourhood. The young son gets in a gang, and it just goes on from there. And I give it a 7. I like that one. I like Dead End. I'm going to try and watch more of these Bowery Boys, Tough Guys, Dead End Kids things. More black and white, very much of its time. But yeah, I was really into it. I really enjoyed it. And the last thing that I watched was a film from 1992 called Split Second. Again with Rutger Hauer. I've seen it before. Sci-fi film set in the future of 2008, where global warming has taken effect. London is flooded. And Rutger Hauer is a detective. Doesn't seem very well like detective, but his partner was killed, and the murders are happening again. So he goes after this murderer. Turns out that the murderer isn't human. And he has a partner which he doesn't get along with at first, but then kind of comes around. A lot of fun. I like this one. I give it a 6, but I do enjoy it. Seen it twice. Didn't remember what the creature looked like. And when you do see it, kind of looks like a cross between the xenomorph from Alien, the first Alien, and then that monster in the original Resident Evil 4, when you have to knock off the canisters off the wall to ice him and shoot him. A cross between them two. It's also got Kim Cattrall in it as well, and just fun sci-fi horror film from 1992. Harmless, nothing great. Some people will call it shit. I know they will, but that's the second time I've watched it and I wasn't bored. So that is everything over the last, I don't know, however long it was since the last video that I did. I shot a video last week. It went on for 20 minutes where I talked about my feelings. Anyone who's watched me knows I don't talk about my feelings. I'm a drunk. I drink too much. I don't give a shit about things. And that's all true. But there's times that I feel like shit. And I filmed a 20-minute video talking about all that and what's brought it on and what continues to fuel it. And I deleted and I thought to myself, you just moaned and whined and whinged and bitched for 20 minutes. No one wants to see that. Man the fuck up. And I went and had a whiskey and went to bed. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome. And I'll see you whenever.